Welcome to A Liberal Voice, Perspectives in Religion. I'm Jeff Holmes, your moderator for today's show. Most of us drink our morning cup of coffee with little thought as to how it got to our table. A group at Harbor UU Church has taken the initiative to sell coffee that has grown organically and purchased from farmers at prices that earn them a living wage. Irene Baker has been organizing a booth at the farmers market each Saturday morning to sell fair trade coffee. She joins us today. Irene, can you tell us what is fair trade coffee?
Fair trade is a term that's used to describe a product, and it doesn't necessarily have to be coffee. It could be rice, fresh fruit, baskets, rugs, a variety of things. But it denotes a product that has been purchased through a cooperative kind of system. And it was designed to make sure that the grower or the producer gets a fair price for their product. For instance, a grower needs enough money to compensate for their effort and the cost of growing the coffee, but they also need money to maintain a family, to send their children to school. So fair trade denotes a product that has made sure that the producer of whatever it is that's being sold has gotten a fair and just price in the first place.
Mm-hmm. And you sell primarily fair trade coffee. How does that differ from what store-bought brands that we normally see on the shelf?
Fair trade denotes more than just the purchase price that the grower has received. It denotes a way that the grower grows the coffee. For instance, they use eco-friendly methods so that the soil and the water is kept safe. The forest, the shade-grown coffee maintains the forest canopy, so the biodiversity is maintained. And I don't know how the coffee gets from the grower to the Maxwell House can or the Folgers packet, but I know that part of the process is that brokers go into the farming communities and will offer the farmers, say, the commodities price. And I'll take 2003, for instance. The commodities price at that point was 50 cents a pound for beans, coffee beans. The fair trade equal exchange floor price was $1.26. If it could be certified organically grown, the farmer would receive $1.41 per pound. Mm-hmm. So you can see there can be quite a difference between what the farmer might receive from a broker. And that's the way our economic system actually works, is you buy for as little as you have to, and you sell for as much as the market will bear. The people who came up with the fair trade notion said the original producer should get more of the share of the price that mm-hmm. the consumer's paying.
Yeah, you brought some examples of products that you sell at the UU Cafe, which we'll talk about a little bit later, and I guess this is the Equal Exchange brand. I guess there are other brands of mm-hmm. fair trade products. Can you explain what you brought today?
At the Farmers Market Cafe, we're selling a breakfast blend, ground and bean form. We're also selling a decaffeinated ground or bean form, and hot cocoa mix, which I understand is excellent, and decaffeinated green tea, and a breakfast tea. And that's mostly my choice to keep the logistics of managing, hauling materials and product in and out again. At Harbor UU, you can also get, I think it's mind, body, and soul forms of the coffee and the bean.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And how did Harbor UU get involved with Equal Exchange to obtain these products and sell them?
I tracked that story down today. Back in 2003, they offered an adult enrichment course at Harbor UU called Sustainable Living. And out of that, some of the participants decided that they would try to implement what they learned about how do you sustain the whole web of existence, what's your part in it. And so they had information that they'd gotten from a congregant, different faith community, and pursued the Equal Exchange. And Equal Exchange deals with a lot of faith communities, Brethren, the Friends, Presbyterians, United Methodist. I've seen Equal Exchange in those churches. There's probably 10 to 12 different faith communities that go through equal exchange for the fair trade products, and we're one of them.
Yeah. And I guess what's unique about Harbor UU is that we have a booth at the farmers market each Saturday. Can you tell us what your role is in that and what goes on there?
Other than control freak. The Friends of the Muskegon Farmers Market formed in early April, I understand, and they wanted to have a gathering place where people could sit down and enjoy coffee, tea, water, something like that, as part of their market experience. And Nana, our minister, is part of the Friends group, and when they wanted to know what group can manage the logistics of offering the coffee, Nana volunteered us. And I started working with it in June. The cafe had opened in May, but bless their hearts, there were all kinds of volunteers there, eager to help, but nobody quite knew what it was we were supposed to do or how we were allowed to do it, etc. And I don't know, some part of me said, okay, let's see if we can get a handle on this. Let's collect the paperwork, let's do some interviewing of city people, etc., and find out exactly what it is we're supposed to be doing here and what are the parameters we operate in. So that's how I've kind of turned into the manager of the Market Cafe. And this is our shakedown cruise. How do we manage the logistics of having product available immediately? Because as we drive onto the site, the vendors are coming over and saying they want their morning coffee. And then how do we replenish the supplies as they run out? So using a generator, we're able to make fresh coffee as we need it. We're off-site right now in what's called a green space. That gives us more room. We can have musicians over there. With a generator, we can actually amplify the music. In the cold weather, we'll move over, we'll try using a booth and see how that works out logistically with all the paraphernalia that we have to take in.
So you actually make the coffee in liquid form and sell it, and then you sell it in the bulk form as well.
Right.
And then you have entertainment, I guess.
Sometimes.
You started adding that. What's involved there?
Trying to get someone to sacrifice a Saturday morning to sit and play in the hot sun sometimes. But we've had musicians from the congregation, banjo player and guitar players. And then a young man, Brian Federwell, came last month and played some folk-type music under amplification. We had our generator then, and they put out their tip cups and bring CDs or tapes, whatever they have available. So it's a way for us to draw attention to the fact that we exist over there, as well as some entertainment value. So we do get people that buy their cherries or blackberries and whatever, come over and grab their coffee and sit at one of the tables available.
Right. Now, I'm not that familiar with the farmer's market. Is this a year-round thing? Do you expect to go year-round with this, even in the wintertime?
The market runs first weekend in May till Christmas. Now, I can't guarantee we're going to be out there at Christmas.
But you'll be selling the right kind of stuff to stay warm.
So we'll bundle up, but and part of that's why we're moving to a booth eventually. But the market operates, I think, till Thanksgiving, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, with the produce end of it. There's a flea market on Wednesdays, and then from Thanksgiving to Christmas, it's strictly Saturdays. But we'll see how it works.
Yeah. Now, where does this fair trade coffee come from, and what are the benefits of purchasing it to the average consumer?
Okay, it comes from Latin America, Africa, and Asia. I tracked down a map on the internet yesterday, and there are 221 cooperatives now. Cooperatives like Equal Exchange and the farmers they deal with. We sell product from Latin America at this point, although we could get product from other places. The average consumer, you get a good cup of coffee for it. The coffee we deal with is all hand sorted. The vast majority of it hand-picked, grown in ideal conditions, shade grown, etc. And there are 3 harvests, early, middle, and late, and the coffee we sell comes from the middle, which is the best as far as flavor. For the average person, you get a good cup of coffee, and then you have the satisfaction of knowing that a good part of the money that you've given is going to the person that has actually been responsible for providing that product, and then the donation part of the price they pay us goes into our outreach programs.
Okay. And why do you think more people don't purchase fair trade coffee? I'm assuming because they probably don't know about it. That's probably part of the reason.
And a lot of it is it's not available widely yet. The market has just really blossomed since 2000. For instance, fair trade coffee amounts through equal exchange have doubled, and the amounts that are being purchased. Starbucks has a form that they're buying. Dunkin' Donuts espresso is fair trade certified, etc. So it is becoming more and more available. But locally, I found it in health food stores. For instance, out on Holton Road, the Health Hut has a Green Mountain brand of fair trade they sell. The Food Emporium, I can never remember the real name of it, up in Montague, their health food store has a line of fair trade coffees and teas and chocolates. Soon, if we get into asking at the local markets and taking literature in and saying, could you investigate fair trade, maybe someday we'll see it at Myers, and because we're seeing organic there now.
Sure.
They even have organic up in Bills and Fremont now, a little market. So fair trade will come along, but we need to make people aware that it's out there. And get in touch with me or get on the net. transfairusa.org has lots of information available, and they have a little section that you can plug in and say, I'd like this market to be contacted to sell fair trade, and Fair USA will do that. Equal Exchange in their brochure has a little slot where you can fill in the name of markets or workplaces or that. So there are ways to bring the vendor, the wholesaler actually, into the picture to contact the markets for us.
And Equal Exchange has their own website as well.
Right, right.
EqualExchange.com. How does the consumer price of fair trade coffee, the price of the consumer, how does that compare to what you would buy in the store? I'm assuming it's more, but I think, but like you said, there's reasons for that.
Yeah. It's more, generally speaking, because the company selling to the retailer is putting a surcharge on, say like 65 cents for fair trade coffee. Otherwise, fair trade coffee, non-organic certified, would be $7 to $8.50. Organically certified would be $8 to $10, which is pretty run-of-the-mill prices. But sometimes the wholesaler will put a surcharge on the fair trade to the retailer, and so that makes it more expensive.
Yeah. And I'm assuming it's probably cheaper than buying your $3 or $4 cup of coffee at Starbucks, right?
Right.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, I wish you a lot of success with this in the future, and I hope it becomes an ongoing concern. And Irene, I want to thank you for coming on the show today.
Thank you very much.